The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 18th day of April, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman. Maybe she's right here. Let's see. This may be Sherry Vanderpool. Nope, that's not Sherry Vanderpool. Sherry Vanderpool may be with us in a second, and Leanna Lambert will be with us a bit later to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Folks, how was your weekend? Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm happy about what we're talking about today because this weekend, Bermuda, yes, it was Good Friday and Easter and all that good stuff, but Bermudian athletes were just doing a thing, man. Like I was, I was following something on social media last week, right? And it looked like an assist came from Keisha Robinson, and Maya Palacio scored the winning goal. Keisha was on here telling us how to keep our teeth healthy a couple weeks ago, and Maya doing what she does, just a young journalist. I was actually like, yo, we've got some talented mofos in Bermuda. Seriously, people, we are doing a thing. So congratulations to both of them and their contributions to Bermuda's women's national hockey team. Hopefully we can get them on the show to speak about what that means. And obviously, most of us probably put on a couple of pounds over the weekend. Me and my fruitcake, hot cross buns, and then you all with your regular hot cross buns and fish cakes. But hopefully, you had a good weekend, stuffed yourselves up, interrupted the progress of that summer body. You know what you do. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one to begin the week as we discuss and celebrate the many Bermudian athletes doing their thing before focusing on the travel authorization. Folks, the travel authorization. Yes, we've got some stuff going on with the travel authorization. The Daily Play is a who said it, so a little famous quote coming up. Maybe if Sherry doesn't come today, you all are going to have to guess it, and maybe if you get the answer right, we may give you a little something, something, something. All right, so we've got a lot to discuss. So we've got young Kayla Barjett. She's actually here in Florida, where I am, and she's been doing pretty well in the equestrian realms, and she looks like she emerged, and I'm looking at my iPad, folks, so excuse me turning right, but she emerged on top in a 7-horse jump off to clinch a victory at the Equestrian Sports Production Spring Series in Wellington, Florida. So that's one. Then we have, of course, the unbeaten women's national hockey team. They qualified, but not just qualified top of their group. And it was 0-0 in the final game, I believe, against Puerto Rico. Then we've got Caitlin Bobb. She finished first in her heat and third overall behind two young Jamaican ladies. She was Bermuda's first medalist, hitting bronze. And then we have Sam Williamson, who won gold in the boys 15 to 17, 200 meters breaststroke. And then, it gets better. We can't forget the young ladies, Bermuda's women's national football team, a 6-0 victory last week as well. So with all that's been going on in Bermuda, there's so much to smile about, so much to shine about our island and our athletes. And I guess the question of the morning, folks, is really simple. What can we learn from young Bermudians currently experiencing success in sports? That's the question of the morning. What can we learn from young Bermudians currently experiencing success in sports? We often hear that As at least when I was growing up, football and cricket got all the coverage. Football and cricket actually finally got cash injections in the mid 2000s. We've heard the discrepancies with sailing and golf and so on. I just love to see people actually succeed in what they love to do, their sport of choice. It's a beautiful thing to see. But with all that's going on in our community, especially with young people, this is an opportunity to not only celebrate their success, but see how we can build on it. See how we can, we spoke about with Larry Marshall Jr. a couple of weeks ago, how we can utilize extracurricular activities in sports to kind of curb some of the violence and things that we're experiencing in our community today. So, what are your thoughts? What can we learn from young Bermudians experiencing success in sports? Later on, we'll be talking about the travel authorization. Is it time to say goodbye to the travel authorization and get Bermuda back at top of the tourist destination list? We've got Nachika Trot. She says, kudos to Bermuda Athletics. Yes, Nachika, absolutely. I always had dreams of participating in the Carifta games, and then had a slight injury as I got older. Injured my throat, so the talking competition got thrown out anyway. But don't mind me. Tanya Cheeseman says Bermuda has been doing amazing in the sports arena. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. You're gonna have to help me pronounce this. Don't forget Josa James. Is it Josa? Josa? Help me pronounce that. Josa James at Carifta. Well, what is Josa James competing in? What's the actual? There's quite a few athletes participating. I mean, there's a number, but obviously we didn't go through the number of people that are participating. It looks like Finn Mosley, Flynn Watson Brown, Brandon Atkins. It's a lot of people. So if you know specific people that are participating in different areas, please feel free. But the question of the morning, folks, what can we learn? What can we learn from young Bermudians currently experiencing success in sports? What are the lessons in this? What do we need to invest more heavily in this? Let us know. Michelle White says, I don't think the success is just happening, it's the publicity around it. Bad news is always highlighted. Media needs to continue highlighting the good things that our youth have been experiencing. Valid point, valid point. So, Michelle, you're saying that this success is the norm. We're just highlighting it now. Am I understanding correctly? Sam Cat Play says, not all is lost with our youth, but not everyone is good at sports. My prayer is that there will be other areas for our youth to shine equally between the races, and opportunities will be fruitful. Well, you're absolutely right. Sports isn't for everyone. And there are people, I always say academics isn't for everyone. School isn't for everyone, right? And so those who may not be good in academics in school may be finding success in sports. I guess the overall purpose is not for everyone to look at sports and say I can be successful, but what can we learn from those who are succeeding in sports? Do we take children who may be academically challenged and find out if they enjoy sports more and put that focus on them and their lives and the opportunities that they may have? I don't know, but I think that there are paths. Sport is an option for those who are interested to kind of make it to that next level. Karen Simmons says, congrats to the Carifta swimmers who won multiple medals, and Caitlin Bob, third, 400 meters, and Jules James, 1500-meter gold. So congratulations to all of the athletes doing their thing. Love to see it. Love to see it. Again, folks, question of the morning. What can we learn? What can we learn from young Bermudians currently experiencing success in sports? What can we learn from this? Is this a way out for young people? Is sports the way? For people who have actually any interest in sports? Let us know what you think. Michelle White says, absolutely. Look around you and you see the positive things that our youth are doing overall in sports or not. Absolutely. I mean, I love to see it, love to read it, and love to promote it and discuss it. Jackie Eve says, well done to all. Imagine all of the great success as a RG front page spread. Are you saying that it is an RG front page spread today? Did they put it there, Jackie Eve? I hope so, because after last week's, absolutely no coverage of the USATF or the age minors on the front page, just unbelievable. So, I mean, they have some making up to do. Not sure this quite does it, but hey, baby steps, right? LP says, Jaza. Okay, Jaza, 1500 meter under 20 boys, first place. That sounds like a gold medal to me. But you know what? We got to do this, folks. We have to do this. Let's get that air horn going. Yeah, let's get that air horn going because it's what we do. I mean, unless you're a Flats fan in cricket during the summer, you don't hear that air horn too much. No shade, no shade. I'm just saying, one of us is a Flats fan, and we don't get to hear it sixes and fours. It's usually the opposite way. But no, I love to play that air horn. Love to see Bermudians doing a thing. And congratulations once again to the various Bermudian athletes out there. What can we learn though? What can we learn from Bermudians' experience and success in sports? I'll tell you what I can learn from it. I think that it's an opportunity for us to build on what's working for young people. Not everyone's athletic, but those who have interest in sports. And it's not just the athletic part. I love what the Bermuda Football Association and Bermuda referees are doing. You have people who love football, and maybe they weren't the best athletes or probably didn't have an interest in playing football. So what did they do? They went the route of learning how to officiate. So you have more young Bermudians involved in officiating. There's always opportunities to join the Bermuda National Athletic Association. Maybe you can be the next Dr. Freddie Evans, Mia Bean. There are so many opportunities in and around sports for those who may not feel like they are necessarily the athlete who is going to make it to the next level. But there are lessons from this. We can learn so much from young Bermudians. We can support them by, if you're interested in medical stuff, being someone on the medic team, a volunteer. There's opportunities here. So my hope is that we realize the power in what sport can do for our community. Let's go back to the comments. Samcat Play says, "You are right, Jamal. Take those youth who do well with sports and not, and show them where they can be great. Throw the money and support behind them and build their confidence." Jackie Eve says, "Not sure, but it would be nice after so much negative news." Nachika Trot says, "Sports is an excellent avenue for young people to further their education with sports scholarships." Absolutely, Nachika. Michelle White says, "Also learn that these sports successes are not only started here, but skills are increased when they go abroad and are able to compete at a higher level." I want to go back to what Nachika Trot said about using sport to further education. I always say, when I was coaching young people in Bermuda, my goal is not so that you can make it to the Premier League or the top league in Bermuda and win an FA Cup or whatever friendship trophy. The goal is so that you can understand your talents and use your talents and ability to navigate your way through life, right? Use your ability to get a free education if that's the way you want to go. Use your ability to create a business if that's what you want to do. I think that helping young people understand how to use their various talents is bigger than just the end result being sport. Sport has a lot of lessons attached to it. So I think the opportunities that can come through knowing what we can do with what we possess is endless. The opportunities are endless. Renee Simmons says, "It's about time we put for more focus in the youth and sports. We focus on IB, but we now need to put more emphasis on our youth and perhaps combine both to encourage the future in sports." Interesting. I didn't think that we put a lack of interest in it. Let's see if Cher's available now. I mean, I looked to the right, I looked to the left. I didn't see her, so let me look in the back, see if she's back there. Good morning, Sister Sherry. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Jamal.
Oh, woke up late this morning. I haven't seen you.
Actually, I woke up quite early, but my internet was not,
Mm, mm.
feeling you this morning. So it was just
Oh,
like, you know what? I'm just going to still take a break from him and his talking competition. It was injured like that.
okay. Well, welcome. Happy Monday to you, Sister Sherry. Um,
Happy Monday to you, Jamal. Did you have a great weekend? Yes,
I had one. How about you?
I did. I had a wonderful weekend.
Oh, this is wonderful to hear. And Mondays, we know they're not your favorite days of the week because you have to, you see us, and we know you don't love us. So anyway.
No, don't say us. It's you. It's
Oh,
let's be
okay.
specific. It's you,
Oh,
not the audience. I love them.
Oh, okay. So she don't love me, but I have some voice notes and text messages that say differently, but I'm gonna leave that where it is. The Chica Trot, she says sports also teach young people skills to apply to all aspects of their lives. Question of the morning again, folks, is what can we learn from the success young Bermudians are currently experiencing in sports? What can we learn from young Bermudians currently experiencing various success in sports? I mean, you know, Sherry, they are doing a thing. I mean,
They are. And what was wonderful to see is that we have talent in Bermuda, right?
mhm,
And if it is only highlighted, we would know more about it. So I think what we need to learn is to highlight this talent much more than it is presently. It definitely, I am that person. I will be honest, that doesn't watch all the in between stuff. I kind of wait till the end to a tournament and all of that. That
mhm,
doesn't make things right. However, if things are highlighted prior to that, then people won't seem to be just like, oh my goodness, Bermuda, or I didn't know about the hockey tournament. I know about the young lady who's doing equestrian stuff in Florida. We have talent all over that it's not just in house, but it spreads out of Bermuda. So it's awesome to see.
well, you know what, Sherry? It's interesting because it wasn't until I actually met with Maya a couple of weeks ago that I learned about the hockey and CAC qualifiers. And at
Mm,
that time, I learned that she played as well. And then when you find out she gets a winning goal from an assist from Keisha Robinson, who was on recently, it's like, man, you only know what you know sometimes when it comes to people, right?
exactly. And it's very interesting, and it's not until we do find out these things later on. So I just wish kind of that things were highlighted more so uh throughout the whole seasons. You know what I mean?
Well, folks, this is why we exist. This is why the Daily Hour is here, so that we can ensure that we're doing our best to highlight some of the things that are happening in our community with young people and sports. I love that we are, the Bermudians are all over social media behind, the teams.
Yes.
Interestingly, you don't when was the last time you've seen Bermudians celebrate the success of a hockey team, let alone women's hockey? It's amazing to see, and we need to keep that energy, get behind these people. Carifta games. One of the things I really enjoyed about being in Bermuda for the USATF is when we get that Carifta games back, I'm looking forward to being there as well. We need more track events that the public can be involved in. The excitement, the energy, the crowd, it's just unbelievable. And I think that it's something that can bring our community together. It's something we can get behind. And to me, it's something that can help eradicate all that's bad that's going on. Like we
Yeah.
need stuff to be happy about, celebrate, to smile about. And I think we're on the right track with this.
And just to piggyback what you said, as far as the energy, the excitement, and it being such a good energy and a great excitement, and it's nice for young people to see how everyone could come together for something positive, you know?
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So, Sherry, if you were participating in the sports, what would your sport be?
Track and field, right?
Yeah.
Um, Definitely probably like shot put or something like that, because I cannot run. If you're seeing me, yeah, cannot run. In younger days, I used to do high jump very well.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's not a no. I gotta stick with, yeah, definitely probably shot put.
Okay. No, no, no. Shot put takes skill and power. Um, I think they should add fishing. I think I would do pretty well in fishing or something.
No, I probably could beat you in that. I fish very well.
Anyway, let's go back to the audience before she gets herself in trouble. Karen Simmons says sports and other extracurricular activities are learning important physical and mental skills as well as necessary soft skills, communication, team building, problem solving, critical thinking, etc. Absolutely, absolutely. I think Bermuda's in good hands. I think when you look at the young people doing so well athletically, And let's be honest, people, we know this. I believe the
Yeah.
CEO of Bermuda Broadcasting is a former Olympian. We've got Katora Horton, parent chief. She is an expert. I'm going to call her in public health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Youth sport. We've got Hazel Clark, former U.S. Olympian. She's director of global sales in the Bermuda Tourism Authority. These are people who have, been top of the line, top athletes, right? And
Mm-hmm.
on the way to learn lessons through that experience to become better and do better and contribute to their communities and societies. I'm happy that we can have a conversation like this, that we can speak about the success of so many young people throughout various sports. There are so many lessons in sport that we can learn, and I'm excited for what's to come. It's so easy, Sherry, to discuss all that's bad that's going on with
Yes.
young people and all that's bad that's going on in our community. But I love, 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 love speaking about all that's good, especially with young people and the contributions they're making. Who knows? There may be a young person looking up, and I'm going to use Maya as an example. They just knew her as a journalist. They didn't know her as an athlete, a lot of people before this. And they may
I
be saying,
didn't.
that could be me. We never know. So props to them. Props to them. Let's bring Liana in, another former athlete in his house. Hope she didn't hear what you said about flats earlier in the air horn because she
What?
called me 15. Let's bring Lee in. Good morning, Lee. How are you, sister?
Good morning, guys. I was just saying to
Hi.
Mel that I feel like it's been ages since I've seen you guys.
I know.
Yeah,
And I know you miss me most of all, Liana. So that's all that really matters.
You know what, Sherry? I have to say I did, and I will say I did because I saw Jamal, right, when he came to Bermuda, and I was excited to see him. But Sherry, I still haven't seen you, so yes, I did. Let's go with that.
Okay. Awesome. I'm fine.
Mal, but we love you still, though. You are like the Chick-fil-A king right now. So
yeah. I must give props because you made me think of something. So David Michael R. Wilson says, morning TDH, love the rebranding intro. So I want to give props. This is the way we do things in this space is, we don't compete, we show love and respect. And I want to give a lot of love to Tarai Trott at Bermuda Broadcasting because he has provided a lot of stuff for us for our intro and our new outro. So if you did catch that,
Nice.
thank you, much love and respect to Tarai. And this is how community works, folks. That's what community does. We help one another. And so we definitely appreciate him making these guys look a bit better than I could have ever done. And yeah, man, seriously, nothing but love to him. What?
Thanks, Tarai.
Oh, I wasn't taking a dig. Lee, you ready for the news break?
I am, but I have to say before we go into the news break, voice is a little, off today, but it's because I have been at the National Stadium or the Florida Stadium for the last 2 weeks now, and I just have to give huge props to Bermuda for putting on some spectacular sporting events over the last week and a half. I've been there almost every day, and from the track event to the Women's World Cup football to hockey all weekend. I was just so blown away that, we've really stepped up our game when it comes to sports in Bermuda. Everything looks so professional, and the way that each sporting event was ran was so smooth, and it made me proud this weekend and over the last couple weeks. Like, wow, kudos to Bermuda, kudos to all of the athletes on the island. The stadium was electrifying for the last 2 weeks. It's been amazing.
Mm.
And I'm just glad that I was
Okay.
able to witness all of that
So
firsthand.
since you've been there the last 2 weeks, like I mean, did you ask for a personal suite to move your bed up there, like anything?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I have to and shout out to Craig Terrell who runs the stadium because him and his team up there, I felt like I was living up there. I told him I should pitch a tent and just stay up here for the entire because I still have to go back there on Wednesday and Sunday for our local football events, the FA Cup finals and everything. And I feel like, you know what? This is my new home. This is the new address.
All right. Dan Florida Duffy, we're going to be calling it the Leanna Lambert Stadium very soon.
Or at least
I'm
a
not
section
ready.
of it.
I'm not ready for that. Look, it would just be like where the bathrooms are, the concession stands, but it's okay.
Liana Lambert Way.
I like that, Sherry. I like that. This part, Leanna Lambert way over this side. Lee, over to you.
Good morning and happy Monday to everyone that's tuned in with us this morning. I hope everyone is having a great start to their day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, in today's top stories, a busy tourism season is on the horizon, and all tourism related businesses should get ready. Now, this was the message from Bermuda Tourism Authority CEO Charles Jeffers II, who said thousands of visitors are expected to travel to our shores and bring about a strong summer season. Now, in a statement released last evening, Mr. Jeffers says that hotels were reported to be almost sold out for when the Sail GP competition returns next month. Now, in addition to this event, the island will welcome other calendar events such as the Clipper Around the World race in mid-June, the Triple Crown Bluefish Championship, which is slated for July, while the Butterfield Bermuda Championship and Black Golfers Week will grace us again in October, plus much, much more. Meanwhile, the organization says that it will continue to promote the island's homegrown celebrations to visitors, including Bermuda Day, Carnival, and Cup Match. Now, after 2 long years of low demand and travel restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic, optimism has returned, and stakeholders and entrepreneurs can expect a welcome boost in tourism numbers in the coming months. In other news, a motorcyclist suffered what is believed to be serious injuries in a two-vehicle collision over the weekend in Warwick. Now, a police spokesperson said that officers were dispatched to the scene of a collision on Middle Road near the junction with Ord Road at about 4 p.m. Police say that initial information suggests that a private motor car was traveling in a westerly direction on Saturday afternoon, and a motorcycle was in the opposite direction when the two vehicles collided. As a result, the male motorcyclist rider was thrown from the cycle and into nearby bushes. Now, the motorcyclist was taken to hospital for treatment to injuries described as serious. The male driver of the motor car was not reported to be injured. Anyone who may have seen the collision is urged to contact PC Walter Jackson of the Roads Policing Unit on 717-0469 or email wjackson@bps.bm. And as we've been discussing, it was an impressive showing from the Bermuda's women's hockey team as they qualified for the Central American and Caribbean Games, or CAC Games, following their extraordinary 1-0 win over Guyana at the Flora Duffy Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Now, sadly, the men's team fell short in their bid to seal qualification to El Salvador next year. However, they fought to the end against their opponents, Jamaica. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 75 and a low near 68 degrees. We'll see some hazy sunshine to the start of today with warm and humid weather lurking, but be prepared for a few cloudy spells and chance of light showers. High pressure stretching over us is now struggling to hold off a frontal boundary inching in from the north through west. Now, the warm southerly flow will maintain a very humid and cloudy start to the week, and eventually the front will win out, turning conditions wet and breezy towards midweek, then becoming slightly cooler. That's all for our Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Alrighty, thanks so much for that, Lee. Sherry, what you've got for us? What day of the year are we celebrating today?
We're celebrating Adult Autism Awareness Day, and it's observed by autistic adults and their loved ones each year. Autism, also known as Autism Spectrum Disorder or ASD, can be identified as a broad range of conditions that are characterized by challenges that are pertaining to social skills, repetitive behavior, speech, and nonverbal communication. Statistics show that in the United States, there's 1 in 54 children today that autism affects. It is important to realize that there is no one type of autism. Adults with autism are also significant contributors to the fields of arts, commerce, science, and more.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But you know what? As you say that, Sherry, I want to say over the weekend, I came across a very interesting video, and it was so extraordinary to me because it was of an autistic child who was actually writing out all the different types of, I think, what do you call it? It's like, hold on. The fonts. There we go. It was the fonts,
Okay.
different fonts from Microsoft Word, and was actually writing it out on the pavement. I can't
Wow.
remember in which city it was, but I was just so blown away because I'm like, I don't even remember fonts like that, right? But
This
to
is
see
it.
them literally write them out, and it just looked amazing to me. The skills, it was extraordinary. So that was crazy. I
Wow.
came across that this weekend.
Well, it was so many different days of the year, and I was like, this one seems to be very informative. I know Jamal doesn't want to talk about tax day, which is today, and then of course it was Easter Monday, but I was like, this is it.
Look, first off, my taxes are done. Uncle Sam, me and you, we are here. But yeah, Sherry, thanks for avoiding that. You know, me and Tech, man, we
I know.
yeah, folks. No, let's be clear. Let's be clear, because there are folks out here that think like, oh, everybody can't wait to Texas because they got this big payout. I ain't one of those people.
Listen,
I'm not one
I
of those people.
I file an extension every year. I haven't even done mine yet, but
Yeah, you heard
I'm
right?
As the rest of us in Bermuda sit here like, do what taxes?
you pay your taxes differently, Lee. Trust.
Exactly.
They gonna get you. They will get you in Bermuda. You just ain't no chance of getting anything back.
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately not.
Well, I ain't never getting nothing back. But we'll see you tomorrow, Lee.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Leanna Lambert, folks. All right, we are going to take a quick break. We're coming back. We're talking about travel authorization because Leanna did a story just now. She did a story. She spoke about, things are bouncing back for Bermuda tourism. So I'm not trying to rain on the parade. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying there's still a travel authorization that exists. So we're going to have a conversation when we come back, whether or not it's time to say goodbye to this travel authorization. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Most of us identify pasta with the joys of Italian food, the most popular cuisine on the planet. After all, pasta is the staple food of Italy, where hundreds of varieties are enjoyed daily. While traveling in the Far East, the founder of the Explore Cuisine company was surprised and impressed by the variety of exotic pastas he found, sampled, and enjoyed there, and resolved to bring this knowledge back to enrich the cuisine of the West. This month, we're featuring delicious Explore Cuisine organic mung bean fettuccine and black bean spaghetti. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Sherry.
Yes.
Well, it's time to have a conversation, Sherry.
Okay, Jamal.
So it looks like the CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, Charles Jeffers II, says hotels are reported to be almost sold out when the SailGP competition returns next month. He's pretty much telling people, get ready. It's going to be, a busy summer.
Nice.
But, and we all want that, and we all want to contribute to that. And I'll just put the question out there is, should the government of Bermuda get rid of the travel authorization? Well, Sherry, you and I read this article from Travel and Leisure. This is Travel and Leisure's top travel magazine. Jamaica is making it easier to visit starting this weekend. This was obviously the 14th last week. So starting April 16th, the island will no longer require travelers to show proof of a negative COVID-19 PCR or rapid antigen test taken within 72 hours of their trip. The article goes on to say Jamaica will eliminate all pre-arrival testing for international visitors this weekend, becoming the latest destination to roll back pandemic-era rules. The island will no longer require, as stated, a PCR test or a 72-hour, antigen test prior to the trip. It will also eliminate its indoor mask mandate. Now, this is what other destinations are doing. This is how people are returning. And I completely get both sides of this argument, people who believe safety over tourism and dollars. But the question of the morning, when you look at what's happening in other destinations, how does it make you feel as a Bermudian, knowing that we desperately need to be welcoming people to our shores? What are your thoughts? Should the government of Bermuda get rid of the travel authorization? If you say yes, why? Why is it time? Or do you feel safe?
I have mixed feelings about it all, Jamal. I say keep it in place so we can ensure that, COVID is being as much tracked and maintained as possible. But the other part of me is like, okay, COVID is here to stay, and we need to figure out a way to work with it in regards to tourists coming to an island, in regards to our economy. You find that in other jurisdictions, I know that the level system plays a big role in that as well. Bermuda's still at considered a high level. I know Jamaica, I believe, was at level 1. St. Lucia's probably at level 3. Turks is at level 3, I think, as well, or level 2. And the level system indicates, should you travel to this destination. Is that being part of the thought process and getting rid of it? Do we need to drop down to a level 1 before we can? It's so many other parts to it that I want to be sure in regards to my answer to that. And so I feel both sides of the coin.
So you're choosing a position of neutrality?
Get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
Let's get rid of it. Nachika Trot, she says yes. Why yes, Nachika? Why yes? Shayna Smith says yes, get rid of the travel authorization. Other than topping up government revenue, what purpose does it serve?
Yeah.
Karen Simmons says yes, absolutely. Get rid of it. What are your thoughts, folks? Should the government of Bermuda say no more to the travel authorization form? What are your thoughts on it? Jawan Haywood says, don't need a TA to show negative a PCR test result. And this is true.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
And on top of that, Jamal, it is what is the purpose of it? And that's why I said yes. It's like, what is the purpose of it? At the end of the day, if I'm showing you that I've been vaccinated, is that enough? And is that another part of the whole process? We have to be vaccinated in all different areas to go to college, correct? And once we do, we show them and we can go. We don't have to then pay for something else to indicate whether or not we are vaccinated or so forth. So what is the purpose of it at this point?
Well, I think that goes back to Shayna Smith's comment where she mentioned government revenue. I mean, that's how some people see it. It seems like just a way to make some additional money. Renee Simmons says, yes, it's time. Get rid of it, especially if it's not working and becoming more of a hassle for travelers. Economically, it will be our downfall. Not much revenue if it's a burden. Well, again, does the revenue make sense if it's a burden? If it's a burden, then people will, chances are, go somewhere like Jamaica where the hassle doesn't exist. So you can eliminate it and take your chances to make more money, or if it's about revenue and not safety, it just makes sense. Sam Cat Play says, do away with it. The U.S. will be welcoming all from May 23rd without testing and without needing vax status, we don't need it. Show me proof of that. I've seen people talk about that, but show me proof of that, and not the proof for that WhatsApp's going around. I have seen nothing reported on the news, nothing shown on the CDC website that says this is true. Let me just be clear with people. The United States is not Bermuda. The United States is not any island in the Caribbean. The United States does not need visitors. Their economy is not built as a country, is not built on tourism. It's not built on people visiting the United States. So the United States, within their right, can probably keep this policy of non-vax. If you're not vax, you can't come forever. And it probably would not impact them the way it would impact somewhere like Bermuda. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But show me proof of this, because again, people have said this, but I would honestly need to see actual proof that the United States is saying that welcoming all from May 23rd without testing and without needing vax status. I have not seen it yet. So if you can show it, I'm more than happy to retract or say, hey, this is great news. Nikita Trot says, is the TA form for tracking or financial revenue? All visitors have to complete an immigration form, so they have the location of visitors if they need to contact them. Very true. Very
Absolutely. And that's a good point to make. I didn't even think of that. So what, again, this only confirms my answer of getting rid of it.
Well, hey, Sam Cat Play says they need to pay for the airport somehow. Well, see, now see Sam, you're being rude now. Hedley and Stevenson Swan says, I need it proved to revaccinated first and COVID testing. David Michael R. Wilson says Biden is expected to make a decision today regarding Sam Cat's statement. And I hope it is, in the best interest of people that I would love to see traveling to the U.S. again. But I just think the U.S. wields so much power that it really, I highly doubt it's impacting them any. But it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. I mean, there was a time when you didn't need to get a flu shot to get U.S. residency known as a green card. Now you do, right?
Really, Jamal?
Yeah. When I got, Sherry's had hers so long, folks, before I was
years.
born. I got my residency in 2019. Yeah, I had to get one. I ain't never had one in my life, but yeah, I had to get one then.
Really? Okay.
Nicole Walker says, TA, travel authorization, has overstayed its welcome. They can still require a ORE arrival. What's that? What that mean? ORE.
ORE?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
ORE arrival or arrival test if there's still a concern. That ORE threw me off. Sorry about that, Nicole. Michelle White, she says travelers should declare their COVID status on entry. There are procedures in place where you can take the test under doctor's guidance. Why have another process on top of that? Get rid of it. I mean, I understand it, and it's interesting how the tone has changed with COVID. Like, I think people are understanding that, economically, Bermuda needs to open up. Bermuda needs to show the world that, hey, we're open for business. You can come visit, and there's nothing in the way of you coming through. Phil Trott, thank you, Phil, for the save. I think she meant pre-arrival. So going back to our comment, TA has overstayed its welcome. They can still require a pre-arrival or arrival test if there is still a concern. Thank you, Phil Trott. Long weekend, brother. Long weekend. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. So I will say this much: that when I traveled to Bermuda 2 weeks ago, it was much better and easier process than prior, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have to do the on-arrival testing. I had done everything I needed to do over this side, and it was smooth sailing. What I will say, in 2 years, there was a lot to learn about COVID. I think we're to a place now where I think there's probably enough information. I'm no medical expert, where we don't need this. We don't need the what's it? The travel authorization per se. As Chico Trot says, we have immigration forms, right? That's enough information about a person. As far as matter, if you want testing before people come, okay, take the test before they come, show the results. But I just feel like, and it's, what is it, $40 I paid, I think? $40.
Yeah.
It just honestly seems like a way to make money, add to the government coffers. And all that does is annoy someone who just wants to get away. The more you put there, the more annoying and irritable it becomes for people.
Yeah, and I came 2 weeks before you, Jamal, so I still had to pay these $70. So I was quite annoyed. But if we're looking at this as also a family destination, and you're looking at 4+ people traveling all at the same time, that's 160. Am I looking at it right? About $160 prior to you even landing. And then we're talking about hotel stays. Then we're talking about all of these other things. And what we do want to do is make this a seamless transition onto the island and allow people to come in and be able to do that without all of this red tape. Because as we know, living here in the US, that can be something that happens all the time, right? A lot of red tape here and there. We're going on vacation to relax.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think I've just read an article. I don't know if you saw it, Sherry, where the U.S. Virgin Islands
Yes.
had a real uptick in tourism, like they're doing a thing. And Bermuda's competing against the world. But think about it like this: if you're giving travelers in the Northeast who are looking for a nice getaway, warm getaway, knowing they can go to St. Croix, well, any of the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Croix, any of them, without having to fill out anything, and just like it's the US. You've just made your job harder to get people there.
Absolutely.
That's what Bermuda's up against.
It's that, Jamal, and it's the whole seamless process. That, as I said to you, that was a good article to read. No passport, no TA form, no vaccination, no anything. The same things that they were ignoring years ago to come other destinations are now being highlighted to them as, you know what, we could do everything in-house. And if we want to be a draw to pull them out, we need to find something better than what we're doing right now.
Indeed. Let's go to the comments. Hadley and Stevenson Swan says, for the computer unsavvy people, the form is simply tedious. Hopefully we can get rid of the TA form. And Nachika Trot says, let's not discuss the frustration when the website has issues for visitors. Oh, can't forget that. Philip Trot says, I understand we need money, but I will always feel like government is taxing the wrong people. Could we not raise taxes on IB or all these boat registrations by simply 0.5%? Surely that wouldn't scare businesses away. Karen Simmons says, also, if your flight is canceled, having to complete another TA, frustrating. Yes.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. Like if you got a test within the right time frame, for instance, and something happens where you get delayed or flight cancellation, it's just such a headache. It's something that we don't need. But back to Philip Trott's comment about needing the money, I just feel like, Phil, it's I don't know if it's catch-22 oxymoron. I don't know what it is, but if you eliminate the $40 fee, the tax authorization, if you eliminate that, you may actually bring the visitors who make up for that loss. That's my thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, hold on, you're using one to make additional revenue, but not realizing if you eliminate this need for the revenue, that you may actually bring the revenue in.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know. Sherry, let's just hope, because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, audience. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they said that the travel authorization will remain until next year, if I'm not mistaken, April 20th.
I believe so.
That is just ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. If there's not a need for it in May of 2022, why would it stay until 2023, other than government signing a contract with a private company that may need it? I just don't know.
You went there, Jamal. Okay.
Oh, I was just asking a question. I'm just asking, folks, not making no assumption here. Shikarena says, my flight was canceled from JA to Charlotte, and I didn't have to complete another TA or take another test. Interesting. Jawan Hayward says, I cross-referenced the CDC website with this May 23rd date, and I believe it applies to another immigration policy regarding refugees seeking asylum. It does not apply to visitors. Okay, thank you so much for that, Jawan. Nachiko Trot says, yes, until March 30th, 2023. Interesting. And Sean Smith asked, how much is it costing government to collect the $40?
Huh. Well, and my thought is that if we're banking on a high tourist season, then we're trying to grasp all of that money now. But we don't know. It could also backfire on us. So we really need to be careful. And if we're trying to do an uptick in the economy, we really need to look at this thoroughly, especially if we're competing with other destinations. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I feel for Bermuda. I feel for Bermuda in this respect that we need visitors. During my time in Bermuda, I did go up and sit off, enjoy Horseshoe Bay Beach, and that beach is screaming for some visitors. Concessions screaming for visitors. While I was walking through town, I remember 15 years ago walking through town, it was jam packed. It's like ghost town.
Yeah,
it's ghost town, and in order for Bermuda to return or do better than it was back then, I think there are going to have to be some courageous decisions that are going to need to be made. Whether or not we have the people in place to make those decisions, I'm not quite sure. But I tell you what, a travel authorization form probably is not the way to go. It's not the answer. We need people in Bermuda, visitors. We need residents. We need people. We need people. Don't do things that are going to scare them away.
Absolutely.
All righty, folks. You all have been awesome. Should the government of Bermuda get rid of the travel authorization? Sherry, the most interesting thing about this question this morning, not one person has said, at least from my recollection, I have not read one comment that says we should keep it. And the reason I highlight that is because governments work for the people. And I'm not saying the majority always know what's in their best interest, but sometimes the government should take heed based on what the people are asking or demanding.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back, wrap it up. If you appreciated today's discussion about Bermuda's young athletes and the daily focus regarding the travel authorization, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and make sure you share these kind of conversations. Also, folks, some of you just haven't done it. And I'm going to tell you, there's an anniversary coming up, 2 years of doing this show on May 4th. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to the website so that you're not missing out on what may be happening. Renee Simmons says, the summer is amongst us. And having this TA, I don't see people flocking here as it often doesn't work. And it's too bothersome for travelers. I cannot see why government don't get it. All righty. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. Daily Play. Wrap it up. Again, if you appreciated this morning's conversation discussion, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Lindos for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. Just want to say, again, I just saw a video where the hockey girls were dancing Gumby. It's awesome to see. I love seeing successful people, just people having fun. It's great to see. So if you come across that video, get your dance on. They actually they got some skills. They were doing their thing. Props again to all of the young Bermudian athletes doing their thing. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
Sure, Jamal.
All right, folks. It's a Who Said It?
Lord.
Help her out, folks. Quote, a man who views the world the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. End quote.
No hints?
It's an athlete.
Muhammad Ali? I'm on a roll.
All right, butter.
They're looking for loopholes today.
Yeah. Congratulations, Sherry.
Thank you. Don't make it sound so hard to say. I'm on a roll.
Oh no, I said congratulations. I'm not her hating. I'm proud of you. I mean, my concern was that you were rubbing off on, Larry and Sancha, and I'm good to see that they've been rubbing off on you though.
Whatever. I'm excited. This has made my day.
Well, I'm excited too. Any final thoughts on today's show?
I say, what can we learn from our sports community? Just let's highlight it in the most positive way. And let's highlight it from the beginning to when we are in tournaments and so forth, so we can support and show all of this positive energy. In addition to the travel authorization form, as we said, get rid of it. What is the need? What are we not being transparent about? My favorite word. And let's be in real competition with other islands to get more people to ours.
She said, get more people to ours. Well, Sherry, I'll say this much. I think we have something special happening with an island so small. Media Maya actually shared populations and just showed how we're punching above our weight in regards to sports. We have much to celebrate and to be happy about, despite what seems to be always in the front page or top of the news. There are so many young people doing great things, whether it's in their careers or in sports. Let's build on it. Let's find a way to get the best out of our community through these young people. As far as the travel authorization, I think sometimes we must not be so arrogant to think that our way is the best way. We have to be willing to adapt and look at what others are doing and say, you know what? It's working for them. Why not let us try it too? I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to take an entire cabinet and leadership in government to honestly say, you know what? We got it wrong. Let's try to fix this. Let's get it right. It's time to get rid of the travel authorization and be able to compete with other destinations again. Let's do a roll call before we head out. Let us know where you are tuned in from. I'm in Florida. I'm in South Florida. I'm in Boynton Beach. Where you at, Sherry?
I am in Fairburn, Georgia.
Fairburn, Georgia. How far is that from downtown Atlanta?
About 30 minutes. I'm
30
about
minutes.
20 minutes from the airport.
Okay, so is that like where, like redneck territory? I'm just asking. Atlanta's Atlanta.
Let me tell you.
Go outside. You go outside Atlanta, the city limits. You don't know what you're gonna get.
No, you're right. And there's always sprinkles kind of all, around. So I won't say that I am.
All right, so
but there's
just stick with Georgia next time, or just say Atlanta. Just say Atlanta.
No, I live in Fairburn. I'm gonna call it what it is.
Oh, she's in the burn, folks. She's in the Bazern. She's in the burn. We've got Headley and Stevenson's one. She's in Devonshire. We've got Southampton up in the his house. Marcia Bradshaw. We've got Crawl. I saw an argument about Crawl and Bay, the difference between them. Well, there is a difference, folks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Ain't it the difference between Burrs Island and White Hill? So there's got to be a difference between Crawl and Bay. We've got Pembroke in the house. Charmaine Richardson, Hamilton Parish. We've got Smith's Parish in the Hazels, Top Square, St. George's, Tanya Cheeseman. We've got Smith's Bermuda, Edinburgh, Scotland. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. Well, folks, it's that time. It is that time. Yeah, Sherry enjoys saying it to you, but I don't. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow.
But you want me to give a daily inspiration before you even sign out on that.
I'm Jamel Hartman. Can we get a daily inspiration, please?
Sure. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along.
Well, we appreciated that one. And who said it?
I cut it off.
Cut it off, folks. We're going to say author anonymous, my friend.
Amen.
Make it a safe and great day. We are out. Peace to you all. See you tomorrow.